Hey everybody, in order to have a bow that's tuned properly and a bow that's going to be broadhead tuned successfully, you need to pick the proper arrow to fit your bow setup. Now, there's a few things that you need to know before you can pick your arrow shafts. Of course, you need to decide on a brand, and that's completely up to you. In my case, I use Beaman Arrows, and the reason I use Beaman Arrows is because for the money, they're great arrow shafts, they're easily available, and they just are consistent. Every single time I get a Beaman arrow, I know when I build that arrow and I shoot that arrow, it's going to fly just like all the other Beamans that I've shot. So I don't have to worry about something being different, the inside diameter, so things such as nocks not being tight, inserts coming loose. We've all had those problems with other brands. That's why I choose Beaman. Now, by no means am I endorsing that product. I'm just telling you what I use. You guys can choose what you want to use on your own. Okay, the other things that you need to know is you need to know what your bow's maximum poundage is, or what your bow's poundage is set at the time. Now, we've covered that before in some previous videos. You need to have a bow scale in order to get your poundage. Or you need to know that your bow is bottomed out and say it's a 70-pound bow, for instance. So you'll know the poundage. The other thing is you're going to need to know the arrow length that you're going to be shooting. Now, arrow length and draw length are two different things, because your draw length is generally a little bit longer than what your arrow length is. The way to get your arrow length is to measure 1 inch in front of the arrow rest. And I use a draw length arrow, which is made for the job. You simply put the arrow on the bow, just like a normal arrow, and you're going to draw the bow back and going to take your measurement 1 inch in front of the arrow rest. It has increments on there. It goes all the way to 34 inches. So you can get the proper length of the arrow that you're going to be shooting. In my case, it's a 28.5 inch arrow. I've already pre-measured that just to save time. Okay, the other thing that you need to know is your cam type. You're going to need to know if you have a single cam bow, or in this case on the Black Horse, the binary cam or 2-cam bow. So once you find this information out, or you have this information, you can go about finding the arrow size that you need several different ways. Most of the companies have selection charts on the internet. You can go there, you can put your information in, the poundage, the arrow length, the type of cams that you have, and it'll spit out several selections that you can choose your arrow size. You're going to see probably more than one. It's going to have kind of like a low end, a high end, and a medium end. For hunters, I suggest going straight with the medium. Generally, if you do that, you won't have any problems at all. If you try to go light and try to boost the speed of your bow, you're probably going to have a little bit of tuning issues and you're going to have a little more struggle. But that's completely up to you. Okay, once you get all that done, it's time to build the arrows. And you guys, if you're interested in learning how to build the arrows, if you go to my channel on YouTube, you'll find all the different types of ways to build arrows on there, including how to install wraps, how to use plastic fletchings, and how to install real feather fletchings. Well, until next time, that's this week's tip. You guys be sure to stay tuned. I'll catch you then.